This is Catherine from Taking Tea with Catherine, and yay, it's summer! Yay! No, I don't really like the summer. I don't hate the summer because that's so bratty to say you hate the summer because there's so many nice things to do in the summer. I just don't like heat. I really don't like humidity. And I'm not drinking tea in this segment. I am drinking water because I need to be hydrated in the summer. I will drink tea, but right now I gotta drink water. And I'm going to talk today about what I'm planning or hoping to read on the beach. I don't really even like the beach that much. I don't hate it for sure, but there's a lot about the beach that I'm not crazy about. You know, I live in New York City and getting to the beach is not impossible, but it's a bit of a hassle. I don't drive, so if I want to maybe go by myself, I have to take public transportation. There's a couple of things. I could take the subway. I suppose I could take buses. I could take the Long Island Railroad. So it's a pain in the neck. Doesn't mean I hate it. It just means I have to do some careful planning. And of course, I'd love to read on the beach, but I can't be bringing a massive tome. So I have to bring something that I can easily tote with me with all of my other things. And I also have to bring something that if it got damp, which I would hope it didn't, but if it did, I wouldn't mind it too much. But I know we need to talk about tea a little bit, so let's talk about a teapot that I have. And I've had this for some time. I don't use it that much, but I thought it was quite in theme because it's a lighthouse, so it's very seaside-y, kind of. Maritime-ish, I don't know. And it looks like it's attached to a cottage, which sounds kind of soothing, which I would love to have a cottage, as everybody knows who I talk to. I wouldn't mind having a beach cottage, though I probably wouldn't want to live on the beach. I wouldn't mind visiting it. Anyway, so let's talk about some of the books that I would not mind finally getting to or continuing, because some of these I've started and was not able to continue with because, like the waves that hit me and knock me over, I get overwhelmed by my incredible TBR pile. And it's daunting, but that's life. So let's get started. This is a book called A Novel Bookstore. Yes, bookshops by Laurence Cosse. I bought this in the Strand, which is a wonderful, famous bookshop in Manhattan on, I believe, 12th Street. So it's kind of fun to buy books in the Strand. But anyway, I started this some time ago. I didn't get too far into it. It's French. There's a bit about Brittany, which is kind of seaside-y. It's a murder mystery revolving around a bookshop. So that could be interesting. And you know what? A lot of people like to read mysteries on the beach. I am one of those people. So I'm not that weird. Anyway, this next book is, kind of seaside. It's a travel book. It might be more suited for the pool because Marco Polo. I have never actually played Marco Polo. I've been in the pool while it was being played and I just got annoyed. But I don't mind watching it from distance, like most things. I've had this book for a very long time, like many things that I've had. And I'll show you how long ago it was. Look at this card that is still in the book because I never started this book. It's the business card for the bookshop I purchased it at. And this bookshop has not been there for some time. It was a pretty good bookshop. It had a cat. I think it was a used bookstore. It might have had new stuff too. Yeah, new and bargain books. But it's so old that it didn't have a website, so I don't know how old this... not that ancient because it also says web services in there. So, okay. Like I said, I really have to get to this eventually. And look how small it is. Like, I don't really want to mess it up in case it got wet, but I could take the risk carrying it to the beach. Now, another book that I think would be nice on the beach reminds me of what I really like to see when I'm outdoors. This could be in a park or the beach, and this is something you don't see at the beach because it's not always allowed, and that is dogs. I love watching dogs run around. I may be a cat person, but, if you're not feeling so great and you see a dog happily running around chasing its tail, chasing a frisbee, whatever it's doing, doesn't it just sort of help the serotonin levels just a little bit? And so this is kind of a book that some people have not heard of by this writer, quite a famous writer. Virginia Woolf, Flush. That kind of sounds water-related, Flush. It's the story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning's Cocker Spaniel, Flush. I don't know, it just seems kind of nice. I suppose I could have tried To the Lighthouse again. I didn't finish that one because To the Lighthouse, but this one just seems a little happier, I hope. Anyway, let's give it a shot. Now, if you're thinking about the beach, you're thinking about lying there, getting some sun, and you think about the people around you wearing bikinis, wearing swimming trunks, wearing less than you normally see on the street, I think the one thing that you really like to think about is Victorian marriages. Yes! Anyway, this book is called Parallel Lives by Phyllis Rose. Of course, I also think of Rose when I go to the beach because of Doctor Who. Depressing, hashtag spoilers, from like over 10 years ago. Anyway, this covers some marriages I've heard of, George Eliot and George Henry Lewis. I don't know how to pronounce his name, sadly. You know, a lot of readers don't know how to pronounce things. It's a weird thing. You can read so much, but you don't actually, unless you listen to the audiobook, you may not know how things are pronounced. So, by the way, you're going to hear me mispronounce a lot of names. Get used to it. Catherine Hogarth and Charles Dickens. It's a Catherine. Not happy Catherine that I know of, but I like Charles Dickens. Effie Gray and John Ruskin. He would have had interesting thoughts on the beaches of today. I love Pre-Raphaelite art. That's kind of related. So I would like to give this a shot, and I've had this forever. I think I got it in a library book sale. It was $1.50, so I could sort of afford to ruin it if I get hit by a wave, which I'm not going to get hit by a wave because I'm not going to be lying there while the tide comes in, but you know, just in case things happen, people spill things. I mean, I got hit by a Frisbee or something when I was in a park one time, and I had made scones, and it just like knocked over my scones. So, you know, things happen. That sounds really weird, knocked over my scones. I never bake things for picnics or beaches, but I did that time. I'm still thinking about this years later. Anyway, so disasters happen when you're outdoors more than anything. Messes everywhere. So this is a risk you have to take, even more than water. But I mean, you know, sand is going to get into things too. Anyway, I'm sounding very depressed about the beach, aren't I? I do like the beach. I really do. It can be really nice. Anyway, speaking of depression or mental things, this is a book I started, but again, I got overwhelmed by my TBR pile again. And this is called The Inkblots, right? By Damion Searles. It's about Herman Rorschach. Am I pronouncing that right? I don't know. Now, if you've heard of Rorschach, you know what it means. It's basically inkblots, hence the title. They used to use this, I don't know if they still do, for tests, psychological tests, where you would look at this image. And whatever you said about this image says something about your inner psyche. So they use it to either diagnose or just, I don't know, take notes. I still don't know that much about it. I only got to the beginning of his life. Mr. Rorschach sounded quite interesting from what I started with, but I'd like to know more. I really got to get to it. So that could be something nice to read on the beach, to keep me occupied. Anyway, so that is it for me today. Taking Tea with Catherine. If you have any suggestions of what you think I should read of this pile, or what else you think I should read on the beach, any suggestions are always welcome. If you've had something you just particularly love that just pairs well with the beach, or if you have a tea suggestion that pairs well with the seaside or anywhere outdoors, really, because I just don't drink tea outdoors. I don't know. I don't know what it is about me. I have iced tea, yes, and I've sat outside, but on the beach, I mean, because I like to drink my tea in things that are not really beach ready. I suppose a thermos, I don't know, but I still don't really do it. I'm not a hot, drinker out in the heat very much. I suppose that's part of my American nature, they say that. I don't know, but I'd like to keep it going. Anyway, if you like this, you can subscribe. Again, comment anytime you want. I don't know if I have the links. I hope to have the links down to my blog and to my Instagram, etc. But that, if it's not there, it will be in the future. And I hope to list all the books I've written here today. I'm still getting used to this whole vlogging thing regularly. I still haven't gotten editing down yet. So this is kind of all at once. Like I said, hope you enjoy, and I hope you have a nice summer. But I will see you way before the summer is over, hopefully. Bye!